Good morning and welcome to the History Office News Bulletin for the day. This is Shalini for the day's news. Now, the headlines. PM Modi conferred with Lokmanya Tilak National Award for his outstanding contribution towards the country's progress. Islamic State group claims responsibility for Bajar suicide blast in Pakistan. US denounces move of Myanmar's government to extend state of emergency for another 6 months. US General says allies key to counter China in Pacific. Now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was conferred the Lokmanya Tilak National Award for his outstanding contribution towards the progress of the country. He was given the award at a function in Pune. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Modi said he feels honored to receive the award named after Lokmanya Tilak, who was at the forefront of India's freedom struggle. Prime Minister said Lokmanya Tilak changed the course of the freedom struggle and British called him the father of Indian unrest. Mr. Modi said Lokmanya Tilak had this unique ability to identify young talent and Veer Savarkar was one such example. Prime Minister said Tilak realized the capability of Veer Savarkar and was instrumental in his education abroad. Modi said, trust on each other will make us strong and development is impossible if there is an atmosphere of mistrust. Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for the Bajar suicide blast in Pakistan that killed 54 people, including 23 children. The bombing targeted an election rally in Pakistan's border district of Bajar on Sunday, in which nearly 200 people were wounded. A suicide attacker from the Islamic State (ISIL) detonated his explosive jacket in the middle of a crowd in the town of Kar. The armed group's news arm Amak said in a statement. Police took testimony from some of the injured at a hospital in Kar, the biggest town in Bazaar. The Provincial Minister of Information, Firoz Jamal, stated that police were investigating this attack in all aspects. A first information report on the blast was filed with the Counter-Terrorism Department as the initial investigation, according to the police, indicated that the terrorist group ISIS was responsible for the suicide attack. According to Shaukat Abbas, Additional Inspector General for the Counter-Terrorism Department (CTD), nearly 10 to 12 kg of explosives were used in the blast. The United States, Russia, and Saudi Arabia have condemned the terror attack and have sent their condolences to the impacted families. United States has denounced the move of Myanmar's government to extend a state of emergency for another 6 months. US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said the military regime has unleashed widespread brutality across the country. Myanmar's military-led government has officially postponed an election promised by August this year after extending a state of emergency it imposed in the aftermath of its 2021 coup. The emergency is being extended for a fourth time. Mr. Miller says Washington is deeply concerned by the Myanmar military regime's extension of the state of emergency. He said over the past 2.5 years, since the overthrow of a democratically elected government, the regime has unleashed widespread brutality, conducting hundreds of airstrikes, burning tens of thousands of homes, and displacing over 1.6 million people. To hold the regime accountable, he said the United States remains committed to collaborating with partners and allies, utilizing political and economic tools. Myanmar has been ravaged by deadly violence since the state of emergency was declared when troops arrested the country's elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi and top officials from her government and members of her National League for Democracy party on February 1, 2021. The military first announced that new polls would be held a year after its takeover and later said they would take place in August 2023. The United States will rely on allies rather than a major expansion of its own forces to counter any Chinese military risk in the Pacific, a US general has told AFP. Beijing enjoys very clear advantages in the region, said Major General Joseph Ryan, commander of the 12,000 strong 25th Infantry Division on Oahu, Hawaii. He cited China's expanding military defenses, its long range rocket missile capability, and the ease with which it can position forces and equipment in the Pacific. By contrast, in the event of conflict, the United States and its allies would have to traverse international waters or the territories of multiple nations, requiring their permission as well as the mobilization of air, land, and sea transport. Before we end the news for the day, the headlines once again. PM Modi conferred with Lokmanya Tilak National Award for his outstanding contribution towards the country's progress. Islamic State group claims responsibility for Bajar suicide blast in Pakistan. US denounces move of Myanmar's government to extend state of emergency for another 6 months. US general says allies key to counter China in Pacific. That's it from the news desk for the day. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. For more elaborate news, please subscribe to our channel, The History Office.